Welcome back, friends. Last Scarf here. Time for the vlog. Okay, first thing I need to say real quick. On camera, I don't look bad. In the mirror, I don't look bad. Well, on this cam, in the mirror. But phone cameras, I'm like this, and that weirds me out. I don't understand how cameras do that. Like photo cameras, like how does that work? How does it add like 10 pounds literally? Now, I did see a video where someone had they had the different levels of lenses, and it made this one dude who just looks like a normal dude, but depending on the lens style, he gets fatter and flatter, or just thinner and skinnier. I'm like, that is weird. Reality is insane. So we're gonna do a quick 10 here. And let's talk about reality. Why not? Let's do it. Let's get weird here. Let's get physical, but metaphysical. I don't know. Okay, so reality. What is reality? Let's talk about this for a moment. Let's get philosophical. 'Cause why not? Here's what reality is to an extent here. So you have your body. You have your fingers. You have everything. You can touch things. You can feel things. You feel things when I put my hand on Kirby, I feel the best things. Kirby. But what I mean is, I feel his softness. I feel whatever heat he has, which is none because it's been a normal temperature day. I feel texture. I feel all these things. That is touch, right? Just all that touch right there. And your fingers have the most sensitivity. So that's why you feel the most pain in your hands compared to like the back of your hand. Skin's more dead. You don't feel as much compared there. Your elbow has way less sensors there. And so, yeah, your fingers are usually the most sensitive. So that's all, that's touch. Let's go with the 5, right? There's more than just the 5 senses, but let's just go with the 5. So, feeling things. There's also seeing things, obviously. Things you see. Your eyes are fun lenses of physics. If you take a physics class, they always go over the eyes because the eyes have all this lens stuff going on. There's like lens math for your eyes, which is always fascinating. So the things you see, I see all these things, and all the things I'm seeing are reflections of light. The light in this room from the lamps I am using, and whatever light I'm getting from outside, is bouncing off everything around me. And I am seeing all of them. And the colors I'm seeing are the colors bouncing off of these things because they're absorbing all the other colors. When you see black, that is because the black clothing has absorbed all forms of light. When you see white, it's because it's reflecting all forms of light. That's what's happening there. I am surrounded by pink because all other waveforms are being absorbed, and only pink is reflecting off. It's so wild. If we saw the world in the reverse, I wonder how that would be. Well, if someone, there's probably a filter that could be done. It's like, here's what the world would look like if you did the opposite, where pink was being absorbed and all the other colors were being reflected. Like, what would that look like? What does that combination of colors look like, I wonder? Or is it all just black for the most part? Or white? No. Reflected, so white. Is it mostly white? I guess. It'd be a more bleached out world, maybe. So what's your eyes? What's your hearing? Hearing is all the sounds around you happening. It's bouncing off every surface around you to different extents, and your ears are picking them up. Now, what's interesting is how our body does things. So there are tiny hairs in our ears, and as the waves come in, they ping at those hairs, and somehow we take in those sounds as data for our brains. Like the same thing with our eyes. Everything we see, it's data for our brains. Everything we feel is data for our brains. What I am touching right now goes through my hand, through my arm, into my back, through my spine, and up my spine into my brain. Everything I'm doing goes there. Everything goes to the brain, of course. My ears goes to the brain, eyes goes to the brain. Everything I'm touching, my feet on the ground. I feel my feet on the ground. That's going up to the spine and going up to the brain. That's why the spine is so important. The spine is just connecting everything. And then, what am I missing here? Well, obviously, it was a smell, right. So your olfactory glands, hairs again. There's hairs over there. Your olfactory glands, your nose, you smell things. And you taste things. I'm not gonna use Kirby's example for smelling and taste. Well, he doesn't smell like any. He smells like me, obviously, because he's in my room. Um, I smell things, and smelling is particles in going into your nose. It's particles of things going into your nose. It's like that smell. So to ruin your day, when you smell an awful thing, that's particles of that awful thing getting into your nose. That sucks. That really does. Think of any awful thing. Now I've ruined your day. Taste is, of course, your taste buds. They're receptors. They're recepting just again particles and like what those particles taste like. So just anything with a particle. So with the different receptors we have, we sense these different parts of it. Like you can just take a burger. Like you see a burger, you can smell a burger, you can taste a burger, you can touch a burger, you can hear a burger cook, I guess, or you can just hear it exist. You can hear things bounce off of the burger. Let's go with that. Those are all very different things, but it's all about that burger. So reality is your brain interpreting everything. That's why, and your brain trying to catch up and calculate everything that you are sensing and seeing and everything. That's why sometimes there's something there, but your brain has not completely calculated it yet. And then, oh shit, like I didn't see that despite the fact it was there the whole time kind of setup. Like, there are times when I'm driving and like left, right, left, go forward. Oh crap, there's a car. Because I just did not catch it out of the corner of my eye. Like it was probably somewhere in range that I could have noticed, but I just didn't. And or they just came in that quick. But it's also possible they just weren't there yet. And that's so weird when your brain just misses something that was just actually should have been noticed. And it gets weirder the older you get because it's happening more because the brain is calculating and being slower in its calculations and catching up and noticing things. It's very worrying. And that's what, as far as I know, a normal brain. And the brain's doing so much at the same time besides engaging with reality. So that's the thing is, our bodies are complex. There's just so much going on with it. How do I know where my hand is despite the fact I can't see it? And the reason why I know is because there are things within my body, there are receptors in there that go with movement, so I can sense to an extent where my hand is, despite the fact I cannot see it. There's also some senses happening here. I can feel the air around my hand with touch, but there's also some like, if this was a vacuum, if there was no particles in the air, I would still have some vague idea because there are some receptors in the body to give you some idea where you are. And it's weird where when the brain just doesn't work out, because you'll have a thing where your eyes are closed and they're like, all right, okay, move your hand 90 degrees and then move your hand 90 degrees or whatever degrees, right? Just go all the way here, go all the way there. And they'll say that, and there will be a brain issue where you go all the way here, but you actually go this far thinking you've gone all the way. And that's wild that there's these issues with the brain where it's like, oh, hey, I already got there. No, you haven't. You actually haven't gotten all the way over there yet. It's so weird. And that's why there's so much with like technology and the brain where like, okay, we can kind of mimic the brain within these ways. That's why technology does so much trying to mimic the brain, because you can see like the machinery of the brain and how it's working out. And then there's some people who are like, if we understand technology and make it as good as the brain, then that means we have a better understanding of the brain itself. And to an extent, sure. But it's an interesting way of working backwards in that way, or working forwards towards the brain in that way, while working backwards in other ways. Like when I was in neuroscience, it was interesting where it was just every day. What they did was they took a brain and they sliced it super thin, as like micron thin as they possibly could, all the way through. And they would just put like a layer and just check everything in that in every layer of that brain to see what's going on with pins and everything, electricity. And I actually don't fully understand what this is accomplishing, really. Like they're just understanding the electrical synapses in all these parts of the brain. Synapses might not be the right word, but just all the electrical movement in the brain, just checking all the stuff, and they go into the next layer, next layer, next layer, next layer. Like just doing different parts of the Jenga. I'm like, I don't really understand what you're learning there, but they're learning something, or else they wouldn't be doing it. I think they're learning pathways and stuff like that. There's a lot of just brain study. course, there's brain study where they put that cap on your head with the gel and all those wires, and they're monitoring different things. And I've had that done to me, and I've seen the results of that. And what's interesting is just blinking. Well, you can't see me blink, but just blinking will cause a bunch of spikes. It's really weird. And I was trying to understand why are all the spikes happening from blinking. It's because, well, my theory in my mind is just like, well, I've cut off all visual knowledge right now by blinking. My brain's like, okay, nothing's there. Oh, everything's here again. Okay, let's and it's just like, okay, think. Like it's like, close eyes. There's nothing there to monitor. Eyes are open. Catch everything again. Like that's happening. You can also see weird things with your eyes. If you go into like a partially lit room, you can see the lag with your brain, which is very interesting. Where if you're in a partially lit room and you move your hand fast enough, in an interesting motion, you can see your like a shadow following it. And this is it's just your brain catching up. It's like part of your brain's like, yep, there we are, but another part of your brain's like, there we were. Like it's just catching up. It's very weird. There's a lot of weird things with the brain, and of course, I haven't gone into brain controlling emotions. All that I'm talking about reality here. And then you've got, of course, dreaming, where your brain's firing everything off, doing its repairs, and just consciousness during dreaming is just insane, of course. And just how far that can go is always wild. I think I've told this one before months ago, or a year ago. One time I woke up crying and relieved, because what happened was, in the dream state, I went about 7 layers deep into dreams, which was really ridiculous. Where I don't even know how I got that deep, but I was down there in the 7th layer. What I mean by that is I was in a dream within 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 a dream. That's how deep I was. And I was in there, and I woke up out of it like normal. Like I was like, oh hey, I'm in a dream, okay. And then I woke up, because usually I don't really hold on to dreams that well. And I woke up, but I was only in now layer 6. I was like, okay, I'm actually still in the dream. What the hell's going on? Everything's normal-ish, but not quite right. This is odd. And I was just in there. I was like, huh, okay. All right, whatever. All right, I'm here in the 6th. I don't know I'm in the 6th layer. I just like, okay, I'm probably going to wake up any minute now since I'm so cognizant of what's going on. Go up to the 5th layer. I'm like, all right. I'm still, I can tell I'm still in a dream state. What's going on here? And I was stuck. I was stuck in the 5th layer for God knows how long. It felt like a week I was in the 5th layer. I don't even remember what was going on there. It was just like, all right, just going about my day in this, not the same as reality, but similar. And it was like, I know I'm dreaming, but when the hell am I waking up? And then I finally did go to the 4th layer. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? I'm still not awake yet. I know I'm not awake yet. I can feel some hint of my body in the dream state, but I know I'm not awake. This is really, really odd. What's going on here? And I spent a couple days in the 4th layer. I come up, I go into the 3rd layer, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm still not awake. I'm still not awake. I'm freaking out in the dream state, in the 3rd layer of my dreams. Like, what is going on here? It's like, how far in am I? How far in am I? And just freaking out. I go up to the 2nd layer. I'm like, oh my god, I'm still not. And I freak out some more. And I go up, and I'm in the 1st layer. I'm like, okay, oh my god, come on. And a dream level panic attack sounds insane, but that's what was happening. I was freaking the hell out because I'm still not out of my dreams. And then, because every time it's this room. This is my bedroom. It's this room. I keep waking up in it. And like, okay, everything's mostly the same, but there's just something a little off here and there. And then I finally go to fully awake. And I'm like, okay, touching this, touching that, and just feeling around, like, okay, I'm actually awake. And I'm just crying with relief, like, fuck. That is where it's insane. Dreams are insane because of that, in that I felt like I was existing in this dream world for literally weeks. And it was only 8 hours of sleep. consciousness and reality is effing insane. It's funny to say that, right? And that's just crazy. Not even going into people with mental illness, where you have people who things are just weird, and there is a great fear of having those rare states that these people have. Like, there's the guy who can only say pickles, the guy who can only say fire truck. To him, he's saying full sentences, but to everyone else, it's fire truck, fire truck, fire truck, fire truck, and no one understands them, and they will just be really angry and just say fire truck, fire truck, fire truck. It's like, I need you to understand me, but no one understands. And they don't understand it. People don't understand that. That's the part that's weird to me. And my question is, because it's this part of like the speaking part of your brain is like, so if you were to write down, would you also write fire truck, but in your mind you think you're writing actual sentences? I can only assume that, because I haven't read deep enough into this, but it's just like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Like, what do you hear from other people in that state? Do you hear everyone else say fire truck while you're saying actual sentences? Are there weird feedback there? Who knows? It's crazy. There are people who cannot see straight lines. I don't understand how that works. But what'll happen is they'll be in the lab and they'll draw a straight line on a piece of paper, and they'll be like, "You didn't do anything to the paper. You didn't write anything in paper." Now, if they do squiggles on the line, they'll see the squiggles. But if you do a straight line, they don't see it. That's insane. The brain's ability to see reality, and then the brain's ability to miss parts of it, that's crazy. That's crazy. Just crazy. It's crazy. That's all I got. Like, reality's insane. And then you got those times where you put your head down and then you just get back up and 8 hours went by. You're like, what? That's only happened 2 or 3 times in my life. Where I was like, head down, back up. I'm like, what? Whoa, okay, that's all right. There are people who are adamant you dream every night. I don't think so. I think, because like you just forget. It's like, no, I'm cognizant of what I was dreaming about. I try to think back on them, because like, but was it interesting or not? Because sometimes dreams have interesting stories. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'll write that down. I've written some interesting stories based on dreams, because it's like, oh, that was a pretty cool universe I was experiencing. And so there's times when I'm just like, oh, there was nothing in there. Now, I'm weird in that not all my dreams are me. Sometimes I dream of other characters doing things. I dream of people just doing stories, and I'm just viewing it like it's a TV show. I'm weird in that I can do that. Not everyone, a lot of people are like, no, you only dream of yourself. I'm like, I don't think so. I've dreamt some interesting stuff that wasn't me. Dreams are a different form of reality. It's an interesting tangent to have, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's crazy. It's wild. Now, why do we sleep? We sleep so our body can repair, and it's also when our brain dumps things. It's also when our brain arguably is conceptualizing new information. Which is why this is why things from your day get in your dreams. Like, to an extent, I understand that there are things from my day that do show up in dreams, but that doesn't always happen. But there are times when it does. And you get why people feel like it's just different versions of reality that you're seeing. It's like, yeah, because it's you're there, but it's other things, and it's like that's what leads to like alternate reality thoughts and things like that. It's like, yeah, sure, you can think that, you can believe that. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe I'll never know. Who knows? That's it for the vlog. Just thinking about reality and all that. It's just interesting and insane, is the best way to put it. Like, you can just go on and on about something like this, and that's why I did that right now. It's just what was on my mind for the moment. I think it's the best way to put it. That's what these vlogs are, what was on my mind. I could easily I could be just like a lot of other channels, where I'm just like, oh, what's going on with the news this week? Oh, let's talk about that. I could do that. I could do those takes, but I don't really feel like that, because that's what other people are doing. I think one of the reasons why we're not successful is because I just don't do the trends. I see the trend, like, all right, other people are doing that. I'll do something different, because why do what's being successful? Well, my whole thing is like, someone else is already doing that. Why would I do that? That's how I've always been in my life. Like, if I'm in a clan, if someone's playing the leadership role and they're doing it well, then I'm like, all right. And when they move on, I'm like, is there anyone better to do the leadership role? If there are, I'll support them. If I don't see anyone better than me, then I'll put myself up there to be leadership role. because I want to keep the clan going. That's how I've always been. If I see someone doing it better, I defer, which I think is a healthy thing to do. Now, there's times you should do it yourself just so you get experience and knowledge. But a lot of times, like, if there's someone better for this thing, they're the ones who should do it. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad mindset, I feel. All right, that's the vlog. I wanted to go for 10, we went for 20. So that's it. I had fun. Hope you had fun watching. And happy Thanksgiving, Canadian people. And have a nice day, everybody. Have a nice day. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, bye, bye. Rocking everywhere. Rocking everywhere. Bye, bye, bye. Every time. Every time.